G'day and welcome to the Inforunners. I'm Execute. Today I'm joined by Mr. Seerthe6th. How you doing, buddy?
I'm alright. How about yourself?
I'm good. Got a bit of cough as usual, but we'll persist on through. So today, me and C are going to be doing a video on some dropship comparisons with Prowler being introduced recently. We think it's high time we've kind of talked about it and kind of looked at different aspects of the different ships. So we're going to go onto a bit of a deep dive and kind of look at the strengths and weaknesses of each of the dropships and kind of just nut out which one, what the roles they are best for in different regards. If you like this type of content, please feel free to like, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz. And if you really like what we do, consider Patreon. Again, leave comments at the end of the video. Let us know your thoughts on the different ships. We do read every single comment and we reply to as many as we possibly can. Now, with the business out of the way, let's move on to it. So, Sia, kick us off. What ship do you want to start with?
Let's start with the Hoplite.
Yep.
Hoplite's kind of the unsung hero. So, like we said, we're comparing the three main dropships that are in game right now, and the Hoplite is the one that's been the longest, if I'm correct. So far, was the Hoplite came in, then the Valkyrie came in, then obviously we just got the sexy Prowler. But anyways, I digress. So the Vanguard Hoplite. The Vanguard Hoplite excels at being one of the most capable multi-role ships in game for its job, because the Vanguard series excels at being a heavy fighter, so to speak, and then you have the Hoplite, which double downs its role as a drop ship. I think it holds 6 troops, I believe. I haven't flown in a while, and they each have their own gun rack, and you also have the top turret. You lose some out of all the other Vanguards. You lose some missile DPS. Missile hardpoints. The belly size 4 hardpoints you do not get on the Hoplite. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what you remove, and then you still have the shoulder-mounted launchers like all Vanguards now. So basically, out of all the ships, of course, this is the cheapest.
Yep.
Out of all, by far the cheapest out of all of them, like 225 or 250,
225.
or it might have won. Yeah, by 225. And what you get is, like I said already, you get a heavy fighter that is able to drop people off. So Seer, what does this mean? This means you have a ship that is able to be a patrol or even a boarding ship. The reason why is because, one, you have the DPS. If you're a proficient fighter or proficient combat person and you want to go against a larger ship or try to board a larger ship, you have the possibilities with a fixed size 5, particularly the M7, because that's high alpha, combining with whatever fixed size 2s you want, but that's your choice. You have, and then if you have somebody there, you can have somebody be the top gunner as well. So basically what I'm trying to say is the Vanguard gives you the best flexibility out of all of them, because there's multiple things you can do. You can do combat by yourself and do it well, and then you could double down and do tactical insertions and tactical extractions. You can do it for boarding. You just don't have to spell that.
Just to add to what you were saying there about the strength of the ship, I think the real strength on this ship is the versatility, because like the other Vanguards, you can swap out that pod, and it can, the Vanguard is the jack of all trades. It becomes a Hoplite. Swiss Army knife, yeah. So you can turn it into a Sentinel. You can turn it in, just by switching the functionality of that pod around. So yeah, on a Wednesday it's a dropship, and on Friday it's a Harbinger, and you can change it to suit your gameplay needs. Where the other two ships, they are dropships, and that's pretty much what they do. Valkyrie might have a little bit of flexibility, but the Prowler definitely is only ever going to be a dropship. So this is kind of that person's dropship that doesn't want to do dropships all the time, and I think that, as you said, makes it a lot more versatile. And I think it'll probably be one of the most common dropships just because of that versatility.
And the most important part, which a lot of people don't realize, is as of right now, the Hoplite is the only dropship that will be able to fit in a Javelin if you have one. So Prowler, too big, the nacelles are way too high, way too wide, and the Valkyrie is the same thing. It's a thick boy, so the only one that's going to make sense that will definitely fit is a Hoplite. So if you do have a Javelin, then you would need a Hoplite, which it's still a good ship in itself. It can take a beating, and you can still be by yourself. Okay, so next I want to go to the Valkyrie. We got the Valkyrie 2000. We got the Valkyrie with
Citizen Con came out with the Liberator skin at one of the Citizen Cons or the anniversary sale around that time.
It was 2018. That was when I started getting heavily back into the game, because that's when I got out of the military. I actually bought the Valkyrie. That one came out in summer of 2018, I believe, with 3.3. Yes, it came out with 3.3, along with like the AA Cyclone and all that stuff. So, without further ado, the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie excels at being a dropship first and can double back and be a gunship by loading in the area. It's $375 off the bat. You need 7 people to crew it efficiently. The main issue, though, is that it comes... So, it comes with beds and everything, but the main issue I have with it is the fact that it's a high crew capacity, and it's just one of those... It's just one of the things as we don't know when we're really going to be able to use this thing effectively, because a lot of things people enjoy are carrier based. And one thing I should have said at the beginning is, as of right now, all of them have the same quantum range. Yes, they all have different quantum drives, but if you all have the same quantum drives, then they're all on the equal playing field. So if you want a faster, since they're all medium-sized ships, if you get the XL1, which still may be the fastest, or even the Crossfield, which is my opinion one of the happy mediums, you'll be on the same playing field in terms of how far they can go and how fast they can go. So with that being said, for me, the Valkyrie is just, I'll repeat myself, it double backs as being a dropship and a gunship, and it's probably the best at doing both because of the fact you can now carry cargo, which makes a huge difference. And none of the other two cannot carry that cargo. So if you're a new player and decide, oh, I want a Valkyrie, you can at least carry cargo. And you can also put up to an Ursa Rover. So for me, the Ursa Rover is a light infantry fighting vehicle. So one thing that the other two don't excel at, well, the one thing the Hoplite doesn't excel at is it's able to provide close air support in a sense, but it's much easier when you can provide that vehicle to give cover fire for your troops, and you have something overhead. You have something the best of both worlds because you're overpowering the enemy, rather than you only have to worry about air and ground. You have to worry about, well, rather than just worrying about air and ground with the Valkyrie, you're just worrying about air with the Hoplite, because you're not going to hover and be a sitting duck.
I think for me, the real strengths of the Valkyrie is it kind of does all the dropship stuff. So it's kind of got vehicles. It holds 20 troops.
Yeah, it's the ultimate dropship, basically.
But where it falls down is obviously it's kind of a larger, easy to hit target than some of the other dropships.
That's one of the main things. You need it. The higher crew capacity and the higher crew capacity means that you need to have people who know what they're doing to man it. It's not a one person show, because the pilot only has access to one dual turret.
And it makes me wonder how it's going to work in conjunction with some of those bigger... So take an Idris. It doesn't really fit in an Idris.
No.
But it will fit on a Kraken. It'll be able to land on that medium pad. So is it going to be... and as far as I'm aware, it doesn't have a docking port. So how is it going to dock with, say, something like an Idris? So I don't quite understand how the fleet maneuvering is going to be working with a Valkyrie, where I can clearly see it with, say, something that can land in Idris like a Hoplite. So it's going to make that more regularly used.
I feel like the Valkyrie, out of both the Prowler and between the Prowler and the Hoplite, the Valkyrie is more of the I'm designed for atmospheric combat compared to the other two. I'm designed to be used on a planet or a moon, and I'm used to be used with a base, not to be I'm used to be operated off a ship. That's what the Hoplite is for.
I think there's only one little exception to that, and we did talk about this in our Prowler's Buyer's Guide, and that is the air shields. And if you're on a planet that doesn't have native oxygen, as soon as you open that Valkyrie, bleed out the bay. The whole bay has to be
fair, it's the same thing with the Hoplite. Wait, no, it's not, because there's 2 doors to the Hoplite.
That is correct.
You won't bleed out the crew. You won't bleed out the crew, so to speak. But anybody who's in that bay, they're probably going to be hot drop ready. So.
You could probably use that as a little, it probably wouldn't be the most comfortable thing, but you could push everyone up onto the landing ramp and then close the door behind you. So you could technically kind of use that as a little airlock if you're in a pinch.
That is asking for you to get freaking meshed out of the freaking...
Yep.
Someone's going to be that jerk that bumps into you and get sent outside. Like, boop. oh, okay, someone bumped me, I'm
But
gone.
that's still a lot better than the Valkyrie, where the whole thing, and so many people have
Yeah.
complained about why they didn't put walls in behind where the turret area is and stuff like that. There was no reason to have those open, but that's just how they chose to design it. And obviously that is a weak point, and it is, as you suggested, a sign towards that it is very much an atmospheric dropship.
Atmospheric dropship, you need to have the right amount of crew to maximize your potential because it has 360 fire support for the most part. You have a top and bottom turret, 2 side turrets, and you have the pilot mounted gun. So
here's a question that I pose to you, being
and the door gunners,
more on the military side of it. Do you think that you could actually utilize some of the dropship people instead of having them in drop seats? They're the ones on the guns and stuff like that. So when they land, they they're on the guns coming in. And when they land, they get out, and you just fly off and just don't use your gunners on the way out. So that's probably how you could spin down the as many needed required people.
So hold on, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. So you're saying instead of using gunners,
as you come in, you are actually taking the troops that are in the drop bay. Say 3 or 4 of those are actually on the guns instead, and so when you land, as you're coming in, they're on the guns. When they land, they get out with the other troops, and so as you leave, you don't have gunners. You're essentially,
which guns are we talking about? Just the side door gunners,
probably just the side door ones. The remote turret gunners you'd probably still need to have.
Yes,
as crew.
So the thing about being a dropship is you are trying to get in and out as fast as possible. So side guns, yes. But turrets, no. It takes too long, too much time. You're sitting duck. And that's the thing with the Valkyrie. That's what I'm trying to say. The Valkyrie, you need a dedicated crew, and then you need dedicated troops. So that's almost 20 people because you have the pilot, then you have the 2 side gunners, then you have the 2 top and bottom gunners as well. So that's already what 5 people, and then so that's 5 people right there. And then you have the troops, and then the troops can do the side door. In reality, crew chiefs would be the ones actually manning the guns because you need to communicate with the pilot on you need to yaw left, yaw right, bank left or right, because they're not only are they shooting the guns, they're also making sure that the person they're shooting at doesn't have something that could hurt them, like an RPG or a man pad or something like that. So in Star Citizen, yeah, you could get away with it. I will say yes. The troops that are getting out could easily provide cover fires, for their allies that are egressing, because that's the perfect thing. And you plus have the remote. Well, that's the thing. You also have the remote turn on top, which is on the same level playing field as the side door gunner. So that, and honestly, you have a way better angle of fire and better view from the remote turret. So it's a case by case basis, really. If you want to have side door gunners, have side door gunners and be a spaceship door gunner. Does that answer your question?
No, that does indeed. It was kind of very similar to what I was thinking anyway. Let's move on to the Prowler then. I think this is probably, to me, the most niche of these ships.
And the most expensive.
I do find it's considered to be the premier dropship, but I also find it weird that it happens to be an alien one. You would think that the humans would have made their own premier type of dropship, but that's just the way COG have decided to roll the dice. I don't know if that's gonna
spice it up.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it harms it in a way, because like you start to wonder how much the alien tax, so to speak, has an effect on this dropship. And I
gotta make money somehow.
I think from when they kind of released it in game, they didn't really increase the price very much. I think it only went up about $15, which is very, very little.
Well, I mean, think of the circumstances we're in right now as this video is out. You think a lot of people are going to buy a $400+ dropship?
Yes.
No.
But I compare it to
think people will.
No, but I also compare it to other ships that are in the price range, like the Reclaimer jumped from $350 to $400. So comparing, it's probably the closest ship in price that we have. I just really did not jump. I think yes, the current situation has probably affected it, but I also think that it's a little bit more than that. I think they also realised that the ship itself is very expensive for what it is. They probably were a little bit too gung-ho with the marketing department.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, so I was gonna. All right, everybody knows that this ship is one of the ships that are near and dear to my heart, so I'm gonna be unbiased as possible. The Prowler is a stealth dropship. It is designed completely around protecting the crew and doing its job well. So with that being said, all it is a dropship, and it's a boarding ship that is also a ground vehicle. So that is why I also said this ship is similar to the Valkyrie in the case that instead of dropping off the vehicle, it is the ground vehicle because of the gravity levitation devices that will be incorporated in the future. It excels at from all the lore and everything. This thing is supposed to be virtually undetectable. Obviously, stealth is barely a thing yet. We can argue about what current stealth is. We can argue about what future stealth will be. But as of right now in 3.9, stealth is not really there. This thing's supposed to be virtually undetectable. It's supposed to be able to fly along, for the most part, fly along and be in and out before you're even seen or heard. It's basically the same concept given by a B-2 stealth bomber or an F-117 Nighthawk. You get in, you do the job, you get out before you are even seen. And if you are seen, it's too late. You're already way out of range and like, crap, maybe we'll get them next time. This is what the Prowler excels at. This is what it's designed to do. Right now, because it's just been released, they're still working out all the things. People are complaining that it's basically a heavy fighter because it's super maneuverable, because it's an alien ship. They already have said in the past, alien ships are naturally going to be better than human ships in space compared to an atmosphere. But literally, and the most important part of it is that, once again, it protects the troops. So you have the barrier fields so that you can, if you wanted to, you can be in an unenvironment, you can be unprotected, you can be in an how am I supposed to say this? A non-biohazard suit, I guess. You're not in a spacesuit. We'll just go with that. You're in a suit that's not going to protect you from the harsh environment of space. And if you open the side doors, so that's also really nice. I think that's going to help you for AI in the most part, because let's be real, if you're in a dropship, then you're already game face. You're already ready to go. You have all your armor. You have all the ammunition you need. There shouldn't be a reason you're taking off your helmet unless for some reason you're one of those guys that's like, oh crap, I need more drink and food, so let me take off my helmet real quick and do that before I go into battle. No, you're already going to have that already done. So
you can kind of
it's a nice feature. It's a nice feature, but I mean, I don't really think it's that necessary. What are you going to say? Sorry.
I was just going to say it allows you to concentrate more on the job of being a mercenary and a troop going into battle than worrying about little things like the space stuff, like the atmosphere and stuff like that.
Yes, I mean, yeah, that's true as well.
And I do agree with what you said about stealth, that we've kind of got to wait to see where the strengths of the ship lie. I do think there are other things like the phalanx shield, or phalanx shield.
Yeah, I didn't get to that yet.
That really speak to the way this ship is meant to be used. It is exactly what you said is accurate to a T. This ship is all designed about getting the crew,
protecting the crew,
and their, I guess, their payload of infantry in and out of warfare. And I think it definitely is, as the Q&A suggests, it goes in quiet and comes out loud. I think that's, you know, a lot of people are talking...
No, it comes out quiet too.
Well,
sometimes
it depends if they get caught, obviously.
Yeah. According to lore, they don't even... According to lore, apparently, people don't even know they got boarded. And there's a series going on right now. I forgot what the name of the series is, but it's a really good lore piece. They're on part 3 right now, where the UEE is fighting the Tavarans, but the war is over, and they just got to the part where they got boarded, and they're like, "Oh crap, we're getting boarded because of the Prowler." They're hyping the Prowler in a sense, but this is why people have asked me, like, Seer, why do I need a stealth dropship? Well, you don't need a stealth dropship. You don't need any dropship in a sense. In fact, you can use the Avenger Stalker as a dropship if you really wanted to, and save a buttload of money. If you really wanted to. The reason why you want this is because you're looking longevity. If you're in a fight and you don't think your ships that you have is going to work, then you would use this ship. And a lot of people are going to say, well, how would you use this ship? Well, it's a stealth ship first and forehand. The Prowler is used not as to go balls to the wall. You're not going to be like with a Polaris that a lot of people want to do, which is you're just going to freaking fly into battle and try to wreak havoc. No, this is a tactical aircraft. Oh, excuse me, tactical spaceship. Sorry, aviation enthusiasts here. This is a tactical spaceship. You distract with something. You get their attention elsewhere. I repeat, you get their attention elsewhere, and then you bring in the Prowler elsewhere. Because I understand stealth, but still, you'd want to make sure that they don't even know that you're coming.
Kind of like a magician
does. That is what this Prowler is designed to.
I don't know if you know a thing in Magic. They actually
Yes,
do this thing
yes,
where they
it's
go, "Ooh,
distracting.
look down this tube." They try to get you to look at something while they're actually doing something over here with their hand to
Yes,
make it seem like magic. It's
yes.
deception. I also
The
agree
hand
with
of deception.
yeah, wave the hand type of thing. I do also agree that this is a picking the right tool for the right
Yes,
job aspect, and you do maximize your chances of success if you take the correct tool. So yes, you could get away with it with an Avenger, but again, if you get caught out, an Avenger might pop like that in
Yeah, it's
comparison
gonna
to
freaking
this.
pop.
And this
Right now,
also,
this thing has the strongest shields out of all of them, and people are complaining actually about the recharge rate so slow. Well, if you actually read the description of the shield generators, it says it trades off being a strong point defense system for recharge rate, so it's designed to be slow.
yeah.
That's something they did on purpose, and I agree with it.
Similar
Because
to
if you're
I think it's got the Defender shields on it, doesn't it? Very
it
similar.
has the defender shields, but once they actually make the point defense system, then it's going to still have a slower recharge rating. So don't hold your breath, people, if you are so worried about the shields. Plus, right now, it has like roughly around 70,000 shield HP, which is more than enough for a dropship, in my opinion. And personally, I feel like that right now, the pilot has access to all 4 guns, which is pretty ridiculous. And so I feel like the Prowler, in a sense, if anything, only the bottom co-pilot should have access to the top turret, and then the pilot only has access to its dual cannons, forcing you to have that second crew member, because you don't need a second crew member. The Prowler is the same as the Bennu not yet.
Not yet. That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
As of 3, I'm talking about the now. You don't need it
that's
in
fine.
the future, but this entices you to use somebody now, in my opinion. But the crazy thing is, it's just like the Defender 2. You don't even need to get into the top seat. It's just like the Defender. It doesn't matter which seat you get in first. Whoever gets in that seat first gets control of the ship.
I actually think people that use this ship will probably be very good at working in the Defender together as well. Once that phalanx shield comes in, and you've got your co-pilot being able to rotate that shield, I can see people that use this being able to use the Defender very effectively as well.
Well, that's the thing. If it's a point defense shield system, it should be doing it automatically. That's the purpose. So the co-pilot doesn't have to actually focus on the shield management. They're focusing on covering fire. They're focused on scanning the horizon for anybody who actually catches them, and then they could fend them off, because that top turret's pretty freaking powerful.
Yeah.
And then again, focusing on troop survivability, I was actually using the Prowler with troops, and sure enough, we were actually using the actual feather side fins that come down with the nacelles. Yep. They provide perfect protection. They're the perfect height where you can peek, shoot, get down and cover, and do that stuff. I was testing every little thing about it, which is why I'm saving my Prowler video, because I'm no longer care about being the first one to talk about a ship that everyone's going to eventually know about. I care about giving you accurate information and giving you a different perspective, rather than, oh, I'm just going to talk about things you already know about the ship and things that you were told a billion times by the developers. So I'm wasting my breath.
I got a question for you too. Should we actually add the Hercules ships into this discussion at all?
Nope, it's not even in yet. Nope, we're down. That's just us speculating right now off things we have no.
So they are not even in game. They are technically drop ships, but yeah, I think you're right. We can't really.
Yes, you're correct. Per lore, that was the UEE's premier drop ships. When the Hercules Starlifter got the contract, because Aegis was also bidding with them, and they were like, you know what, forget you, Aegis, we're gonna go for Crusader. And that thing doubled up as a heavy troop transport, and it's the C-17 of Star Citizen. The C-17 is the United States Air Force's premier heavy lifter, and it does its job very well. And if you have anything to do, if you know anything about the C-17, literally that's what the Starlifter is. It's basically that.
Well, I'll ask you one really quick question then. So besides what we know about the troops and Nova tanks and Cyclones and that will be able to drop off, do you think in the future that they'll either make, and I'm talking about using the Hercules as a Titan dropship, or do you think they might even make a custom Titan suit dropship? What do you reckon?
If they're about making money, then they'll make a ship dedicated for that themselves, or they'll make a module that you can add to a ship. Look, this is a company, they need to make money, so it's either A, they're going to make some type of module for some type of ship that already has modularity into it that will be able to drop a Titan suit, or they're going to make some type of ship for it by itself. Right. That's what I think, if we're on that subject.
So we'll probably do a revisit to this video down the line then when the Hercules come out at the end of this year. But yeah, for now, what do you think? Should we say what our picks are for dropships, or do you think they're more? I think for me personally, they're more like they're all valid. They're just tailored at different roles.
Yes.
So right tool for the right job.
If you're exactly the Vanguard, if you're going to the unknown, you don't know what you're going to go up against, but you think you can do that job well. You need something that can stand up against the fight. Go for the Hoplite, because you can do combat, you can be by yourself, and you can double back and be a dropship when you're working with buddies.
Also, the versatility of the other pods that you can slip into it, and
the versatility of the weapons too.
Yeah, I'd probably be more inclined to buy like a Harbinger and put the module in it, so you could be a Hoplite. That would probably be my forte.
No, I would say don't even waste your time with the Harbinger. Just get a Hoplite.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's
losing all the hard points. We'll talk about it another time then.
I mean, if you're focusing on being a dropship, but you want something that can still dish damage, the only thing you're losing are the 2 size 4 hard points for missiles, so to speak.
Oh,
if you don't really care about missiles, then you can go for the Hoplite. But if you do care about missiles, then you can go for the Harbinger. I mean, and then get the Hoplite pod so you can swap between the two. The Valkyrie is more for those people who are going to be focused on ground-based tactics and ground force assaults.
Yep.
Those are the Valkyrie is going to basically be that logistical ship. What a gunship in real life double backs as a logistical platform when it's not actively being used. Take a UH-1 Cobra. I mean, excuse me, sorry, not a UH-1. Yeah, not the Cobra. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. The Venom or the Huey. The UH-1. It's a utility platform. It can carry cargo, it can do minor sling loading, it can carry troops, it can have rocket pods in the side guns, a 50 cal or a mini, so it doesn't matter. It's a utility-based platform. You need to think of that sense. That's what a gunship is designed to do when it's not utilized for its main job. Same thing with a Hind. A Hind it's a very freaking scary gunship, but also doubles back and can drop troops off as well, or it can bring in supplies if needed to. That's the beauty of a Hind. That's the beauty of a gunship overall. So think of the Valkyrie as that. If you're more focused on, I want to be focused planet side, and we're going to be focused on emphasizing on base protection, base escalation, raiding people, and actually doing things in an atmosphere, the Valkyrie is the best option in my opinion for that. And then if you are the person that's more of a tactical person, you are with a well-trained large org, and you guys are playing more of a sleight of hand and guerrilla tactics, then you would use the Prowler, because you can't shoot what you can't see, basically.
For me, the Valkyrie is like a generalized army one, where the Prowler is more of like a SEAL Team 6 type of thing. That's kind of my takeaway. Yeah.
I mean, for me, this is the space version of the V-22. Literally, it has the vertical fins just like the V-22 in the back, and it has the nacelles. Like if I took a side picture of the V-22 while it's in airplane mode, not helicopter mode, and put that freaking ship right beside it, people are like, oh yeah, it does kind of remind me of a V-22. Not the freaking Cutlass Black, because everybody thinks just because the Cutlass Black can rotate its nacelles, it's basically a V-22. No, not really. Doesn't carry as much people. Sorry, I'm a little salty by that, but that's why I'm the salty.
I do, like, since Algrid brought it up, he talked about how it looks kind of like a paratrooper dropping through the sky, and I can't unsee that. I really see that in the Prowler.
It looks like a bird of prey coming down on its target.
Yeah, well, that too. Like, you can definitely, looks like it's falling through the atmosphere type of thing, and I think it really adds to the aesthetic of the
style.
All right.
I mean, all of them have their advantages and disadvantages. It's all up to you. You probably won't even be into the dropship gameplay. Yeah. To be a dropship pilot, I'm a dropship pilot in this game. And to be a dropship pilot is probably one of the most boring jobs you can ever be in this game, in my opinion. Unless, like, you just love that kind of gameplay. For me, I love it. But if you're really a dropship pilot, you're flying in, and your job is to make sure that you get them there. And if you fail your job, everyone's freaking pissed at you. And then you got to make sure you get back, which is why I don't really like going and screaming. You have to be able to retrieve them as well.
It's more on the support front in my book than it is on the combat 100% front.
Support.
Yeah, and especially in the Prowler over the Valkyrie. Like, the Valkyrie's not going in as a stealthy, so yeah, you're probably a bit more combat focused. But if you're
you're going in with freaking Fortunate Son playing.
I think with the Prowler, you're trying to go in and not get noticed, so it's definitely a lot more stealthy support, which will be a unique role. I don't think there'll be too many options for a stealthy support type of craft. So yeah, again, it is a niche gameplay, and as we've said here, I think each ship has its own validity, and you've got to pick the one that's right for you. And again, earn it in game. If you buy the wrong one, then earn the other
Or just
one.
ask me, or just ask to use mine. I have no problem. Like, hey, Seer, can I use your Prowler real quick? Sure. I'm not doing anything. Use the Prowler.
Yeah.
And also, another important thing is just remember things are always going to change in this game. So we can say one thing, release a video, then out of nowhere, CIG will be like, hey guys, we decided we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And then people are going to come in this video and be like, you guys are wrong. They just changed it. Well, I was like, well, thanks. We did this video before they announced it, so don't get mad at us. Like, we are trying our best, like everybody else, to give you accurate information. We just can't help it sometimes. So
yeah,
remember, take everything with a grain of salt.
When they release the Hercules and update that, we'll probably do an update to this video as well.
Only time will tell. Is there anything else you would like to add when you're not coughing?
No, I'm just trying to mute it. No, I think that's it for me. I think we'll wrap it up here. Let us know in the comments what you think of what we've said about the dropships, what you think of each dropship, what type of roles do you think, like the roles that we've said they're tailored at, do you agree, do you disagree, any other uses that you see for these ships. Obviously Valkyrie, we didn't talk about the cargo too much. I think does make that a little bit more versatile than they kind of
utility based.
You've kind of got like the Hoplite is the most versatile, and then you kind of step down a little bit with the Valkyrie, and then you step down to almost nothing with the Prowler in terms of versatility. Then it kind of steps up in the uniqueness and the power of the ship as you go towards the Prowler. So it's the inverse.
That's the thing. If you want something that can do the job and do a different job, Hoplite. If you want something that can do its job absolutely well, then and can do other roles too, the Valkyrie, 100%. But then again, you could be restricted to planet-based operations when you have it. And then you have the Prowler, which is the master of being a dropship altogether, but you're going to pay a hefty price tag. And of course, you're not going to want to use it all the time because it excels at doing one job really well, and that's being flying under the radar.
Yeah. So let us know your thoughts as well in the comments, and I'll definitely be reading them, and I know Seer will be as well, and we'll get back to you as well. All right, so he's been Seerthe6th, I've been Execute, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.